Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I have kind of a different, interesting type video for you guys. This wasn't requested or anything, but this is a question that I get a lot, and I figured I would just have like a sit down video and kind of like talk about that question more in depth with you guys, because I get it quite a bit and I don't really want to repeat myself 80,000 times, so I'm just going to make one whole video about it. And this video is going to be talking all about piercings and tattoos and my future kids, because a lot of people look at me and they see, oh, you have tattoos and piercings, are you gonna let your future kids get tattoos and piercings, like, you know, when they're young or whatever? So I have like a few things to say about that topic, and I thought I would make a whole video on it because everyone's answer that they're probably expecting me to give them isn't exactly what I believe in, or it's not really like my view on things. So I really wanted just to sit down, make this video, and you know, maybe we can have like a little debate about it. I feel like this is just gonna get a lot of like, I don't know, because everyone has different views on what they believe, and I just have a whole different thing. So, okay. When I was growing up, I lived with my mom most of the times, and then I would see my dad on the weekends. So most of the time I was with my mom. Like when I was going to school, I lived with my mom, you know, things like that. And growing up, it was very interesting because, you know, my mom was very, very old school. We were not allowed to, you know, wax our eyebrows. We were not allowed to, you know, do anything with our hair. Like we weren't allowed to dye it or highlight it or anything like that. And we weren't allowed to get tattoos or piercings. And I remember around, you know, like 13, 14, which is usually when teenagers start to get like that, ooh, I kind of want a piercing, you know, they look so cool on everyone, I want to be like everyone else. And that's just kind of when you get that kind of like itch to get like a tattoo or a piercing. And I remember my sister wanted to get her septum pierced when she was, oh my gosh, how old was she? I think it was like 13, 14 years old. She really wanted her septum pierced, and I really wanted my belly button pierced. I was like 15, so we both wanted piercings, and you know, I would talk to my mom about it, and you know, she was very, very, you know, dead set on absolutely not. You are not allowed to get piercings. You can get all that stuff done when you're 18 and moved out, whatever, blah, blah, blah. And that's the question I always get too, is when did you get all your tattoos and piercings? I got everything that you are seeing. Well, you can't see all my tattoos right now, but I got everything you're seeing when I was 18 and out of my mom's house. Like, I didn't get anything while I was living with my mom, because that's just not what she wanted. She, you know, every time we asked for a tattoo or piercing, she was like, absolutely not, no way, blah, blah, blah. You know, just being a typical mom, so to speak, I guess. She just, you know, didn't want her kids running around with tattoos and piercings at 15, 16 years old, which is understandable. I mean, now that I'm older, I totally see where she's coming from. But yeah, that's just how I was raised, and that's just how, you know, that's just how it was. The one thing that not a lot of people, and especially if you are 13 to 16 years old and you're watching this video, a lot of things you probably don't realize that you will realize when you're much older is right now you think that what you want as far as like a tattoo, piercing, whatever, right now you think that that's the coolest thing, and you think you know everything, and you think you got it all figured out, when in actuality you don't. Like, during that time in your life, it's kind of a very, you know, scary time in your life. You know, you're experiencing a lot of changes, you are constantly changing your mind on things, and when you think you want something, in actuality you really don't, and you will look back and be like, oh my god, I cannot believe I almost did that to myself. So that kind of answers this question, is are you going to allow your kids to get tattoos or piercings? The answer is no. The reason for that is because I appreciate my mom so much for telling me and my sister no, because some of the things that we wanted when we were, you know, 13, 14, 15, 16, as far as like tattoos and piercings, like, we just wanted some of the craziest shit. And looking back on it, if my mom would have said yes and we would have gotten those, you know, ugly tattoos or bad piercings, whatever, we would have been very unhappy now, because like we look back and we're like, oh my god, I can't believe I would want that, you know. So I just feel like if I have kids, which, you know, I don't have any kids now, I don't plan on having kids anytime soon, I don't even know if I really want kids, but if I ever do, that's just how I'm gonna run my household, is they can get anything they want when they are 18, out of school, and moved out. Then they can do whatever they feel like to themselves, and I don't care. Because number one, when you're young, you don't really have that much of a care or responsibility in the world. I mean, maybe you do, maybe you are mature for your age, but most young teenagers don't really have like a care in the world for anything. So when it comes to like getting a piercing or a tattoo, you're not really gonna really bother taking care of it that much because, you know, you're focused on your friends or, you know, your video games or your social media or, you know, whatever. I don't know. I just feel like, nah. I don't see, this is kind of like a difficult thing to touch on because everyone's different, but I just feel like at that age you're not mentally ready to care for a piercing that could potentially infect your body if you don't take care of it. So I just feel like you need to be at a mature level in order to get and take care of those sort of things, which is why I'm personally going to wait until my kids are moved out of the house for them to go and do whatever the hell they want. Because, and another thing too is if you're 16 years old or 15 or whatever and you get a piercing and it gets infected and you have to go to the doctor because it's really, really bad, your parents have to pay for that. And I would feel so bad if my mom had to pay for my lack of responsibility. Like, that would just be awful. So, which is another reason why I'm waiting for my kids to be 18 and they can get whatever they want, because if something happens, they will be responsible and it is money coming out of their pockets and not mine. Granted, I know they're your kids and you should care for them no matter what, but, you know, I'm not going to let the irresponsibility of my teenager not taking care of their ear piercing and it get an infection up into their brain. I don't want to pay for that when they could easily just wait till they're matured, grown up, ready to handle something like that, and they can do it on their own if something were to happen. So that's just kind of how I view things, and like especially with tattoos. When I was 16, oh my fucking god, I wanted the ugliest tattoo on my leg, and I don't even remember what it was, but it was just the ugliest thing. Like, it was terrible. And I seriously cannot imagine having that on my leg today. Like, when I was like 16, I was all about it. I was like, oh my gosh, that's gonna look so cool, I want it. And you know, I would constantly ask my mom for it and she always said no, thank God for her. And being like 22 now, I'm like, oh, praise Jesus, hallelujah that I did not get that ugly shit on my leg, because I would be regretting it so hardcore right now. Your mindset at 16 and your mindset at 18 to 20 is totally different. You don't talk the same, you don't really act the same, like your maturity level just kind of goes up a little bit just naturally with age. And I feel like that's when you should get tattoos. Like, I feel like they should change the law. Like, you shouldn't be able to get tattoos until you're 18 or older. Because in my state, in Michigan, it's 16 to get a tattoo with parental consent. I mean, it's totally different, depends on the person, but I'm talking about me specifically. I mean, if you're someone who wants, like, Tweety Bird on their neck when you're 16 and you still want that when you're 25, go for it and wear it proud. But I'm just saying, in my own, like, living in, you know, being a 16-year-old and growing up and, you know, having the mom that I did, I'm just so glad she said no. So I like to take that aspect of how she raised me and my sister, and I'm definitely going to use that on my kids. You know, I mean, of course, yes, I was obviously pissed off when she would tell me no if I couldn't get a piercing or a tattoo. I was very upset. But, you know, I mean, it really wasn't that big of a deal. If you are someone who's 16 and your parents will not say yes to a piercing, just wait. I promise the wait is not that long. Focus on school, focus on graduating, then once you're graduated and you're 18, you can go out and get whatever you want and you will be fine. But I promise it's really not that big of a deal to wait. I mean, yes, a lot of people are going to say, you know, don't you want your kid to express themselves freely? And yes, of course, but I don't want them to permanently mark themselves when they're not ready. And, you know, I was 16 once. I know I certainly wasn't ready. I thought I was, but, you know, growing up, definitely not. So when I have kids, I will make them wait until they're 18 and moved out to get piercings and tattoos. That is for sure. And another thing with tattoos is, you know, some people look at my tattoos and they think I'm just stupid for getting that, or they think my tattoos are ugly, which 90% of the time people hate my tattoos, which is fine. I don't really care. I love my tattoos. I don't have a meaning for every single one, but, you know, all of them have a really deep, close meaning to me. I absolutely love my tattoos. They're absolutely amazing. In my opinion, you know, I'm proud of them. So, I mean, with tattoos, that's going to be different for everyone because, you know, people will probably look and say, well, why would you get that at 21? Why would you get that at 18, you know? So it just kind of depends on the person and their taste. Okay, so that's everything that I have for this little kind of rant vlog sit down video. I really hope you guys enjoyed this kind of different talky talk video. If you did, be sure to give a huge thumbs up, subscribe down to my channel, and let me know what you guys think of this whole thing. Let's try not to fight. Let's just kind of have a little discussion here. Let's try not to like get the claws out, even though that happens a lot. But yeah, so let me know down in the comments what you guys think. But until then, I will see you guys very soon in my next video. Bye guys!